Hey there, welcome to my channel where I take you on tours of tiny and alternative homes. This week's video is sponsored by Huusk. Stay tuned to the end of the video so you can learn more about their exceptional knives. Today we're traveling to California to take a tour of a professional snowboarder's handmade rock house. This incredible home took the owner several years to construct, including hand-picking every single rock that you'll see in the build. And while his rock house is his full-time home, he also has an incredible Overlander tiny home that he's going to share with us today. If you like these kind of videos, make sure that you subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you know every single time we publish a new tour.
I'm a professional snowboarder. I've been doing this for about 30-something years, since the mid-'80s. My longtime passion is woodworking, so somewhere around when I was 34, I started this project, and that kind of was a very fulfilling achievement for me to bring in my passion for building and being off-grid, something that I never got to bring into snowboarding before. So I grew up in California, and after high school I traveled the world for 20 years. After seeing what's out there, I realized I love California. I love the granite. So this is where I landed. It's been 20 years now. I feel very rich being up here. You know, I have clean water. No one's bothering me. No one's telling me what to do. I feel safe. I started this project by just getting rocks. Everyone would come up and have a blast. My crew shifted throughout the projects. My mom was always there. She was a big helper of this project. And this probably took 5 years to where it was comfortable. Probably another 2 years to kind of fine tune things, which is a lot of time for, you know, a 200 and something square foot structure. But I don't think it's going anywhere. I think it's here to stay for a while. I think it costs about 25 grand. So this is in 2005. When I first built it, I was trying to be here full time. The other times I wasn't, I was traveling. So it was more of a home base about half of the year. It is a little bit like camping, just to put that word in this lifestyle. You know, you're dealing with your trash, you're dealing with cleaning dishes slowly, nothing's fast, there's no toaster. These things add a lot of time. That's what I want my day to be like, and I definitely want to teach my kids that, so it fits me perfect. What's next will be interesting, because I have 2 boys and my lady, so we'll see what we all do together and shape something new. Decided to build my little dream rock cabin up here on Donner Summit. We're on 84 acres at 7,100 feet, and I've been living up here since '04. So this is kind of my little bit of a front door. This is a tree I milled and waited 5 years until I was ready to build. I had a temporary door before. Come and check out the inside. The sun heats all the rocks in the morning over here, and then in the evening, these rocks heat up. It holds a lot of the heat, which means less firewood, much comfortable living. Radiant heat is actually a beautiful heat, especially from the sun. Like, what else can you ask for? Like, it's an amazing experience. You get to really understand how we're moving through space and being in sync with all these things that you want to enjoy. I mean, that's a big part of why I would be up here. This floor plan down here is based on my birthday. There's a little metal thing over here in the window. It looks like a stretched out star based on the golden ratio. 29th of October at 3:02, there's a shadow that meets all the points of the pentagon. That's my floor plan. Big inspiration of learning about that, and that gave me a little bit more of a celebration of me. You know, that's what this place was really about to do, is understand myself, what I need to move in life, and so this is kind of a result of what I've discovered about me. So this is my kitchen. This is a piece of granite someone gave me from an old job, some leftover stuff. Some projects I've built, you know, in my travels, just understanding rock a little bit. This is actually my first project that I did with metal, wood, and rock. So normally it was wood, then I became a masonry by just force. I have a lot of rocks here. I got electricity, which just in a power inverter for the 110, but most everything we all use these days is actually 12 volt. So a lot of things you can buy, you just cut the inverter off, hardwire it into a 12 volt battery. My window's open here. It gets buried in the winter, so this is my winter refrigerator. Just kind of open it up, you got a little shelf of snow. My first stainless steel welding is my sink. Very proud of that. It's not easy doing stainless steel, shape inspired by the pentagon of the cabin. And moves into soapstone counters, some fun welding projects, you know, on downtime, figure out what we need to survive up here. Fire, heat, dry, very important. I kept things pretty simple where I built everything I needed in the wall just to give the floor space a little bit of bigger of a feeling. Fireplace is mostly the biggest focus of the daily chores. You know, your hot water, cooking, everything's based around here. I got a little oven, you can do some baking. Fun little junkyard fireplace door I got. And this is actually soapstone. Huge fan of soapstone. You can cut it with a skill saw, you can hand sand it. The oven's built out of that, you just make a little box. And then I got my hot water here, coils for heating, and a little 12 volt pump. This whole place is 12 volt. I got 2 batteries, very basic. It's about a $500 setup as far as the panels and the batteries go. I do have a generator now for my well, which is a 3-year-old project. So that has really changed how this place moves, having water come out of a pipe. I did mix all the cement from creek water here, and that is a wild experience. Water's 7-8 pounds a gallon. You need at least 1.5 gallons per cement bag, 33 pallets of cement. It works out to be a lot of weight, and working with it not freezing up here in the winter, big process. Very proud, and also when I have water, I have this huge experience of appreciation. That's why I actually did all this, was to have an appreciation for the simple things that we need to live. This is my shower. It kind of has a natural feeling when you go bathe in the creek. You realize, why don't I have this inside my house? So this is my version of a creek bed shower. Drains outside, got my hot water. Sometimes I'll have a pump with a shower head. So my glass work here was one of my longest projects. It took me about 2 years to just get the glass in place. My road to get this type of glass up here was too bumpy. I have about 8 windows, and I think 4 of them broke in the process of getting them up here. These windows are amazing for many reasons. They heat the place, you can fall asleep with the stars. On a storm, you get to watch the clouds coming this way, and it just dumps. 50 feet of snow on a good winter. I'm 3 miles from a plowed road. When the snow is super deep, you're down to snowshoes because nothing else can actually work. I've spent anywhere from 6 hours hiking up here. Sounds like a lot of work, but again, this is kind of why I'm here. And it keeps me in shape, keeps me healthy. This big window opens up, so the deck became an outside experience of flat ground, and it's become part of the house as well. When I started building this house, I had a big camp out, and I had 20, 30 people come up. We made a huge pile of rocks. And I thought, oh, that'll probably be about half of what I need to build the house. It got me about this high. You know, this wall is probably 13 feet tall. So you imagine it's 3 feet thick at the bottom. It's a lot of rocks. The rock actually on the inside is separated from the outer rock. So in the middle, there's a bubble wrap that separates that barrier so the cold doesn't come in and the hot doesn't go out. So people started sending me rocks and different things to add to the cabin, which was beautiful to hear everyone's inspiration to help. After everything kind of got in place, I sanded this down quite a bit, which is the couch. Black walnut. Took me about 3 tries till I got where I wanted it to be. The table's a special tree that I got off a friend's property. This part was actually 2 trees. It grew together and then grew back apart. And right here it was kind of rotted out quite a bit, so I put in a hot plate, and then I got inspired by different rocks that people gave me. One's a petrified wood. This is a mammoth bone, petrified mammoth bone. Did some shapes of mountains with my window framing. All this stuff is welded in place. So this is my sleeping quarters up here. Loft. I have 2 boys now. My lady and 2 young boys. We do sleep up here. My youngest is 1.5, so we haven't stayed up here a lot because there's no net. But my inspiration is to make things a little more comfortable for family style. This is very bachelor planned out. And my window, I have a little window over here to regulate the temperature, which is really helpful. You kind of arm's reach when you're in bed, so you can cool the place off if the fire gets too hot at night. This is actually what I built very first once I had enough wall space to put this beam on. There's huge I-beams that shape the curve of the roof. I was lucky enough, my cousin bent me these. He had a big machine enough to curve the I-beams. So this is the outside of the cabin. As you can see, this is quite a bit of a rock wall. This is my biggest wall I've had. Each rock's actually dry stacked, which is a process I learned in Mexico of just you just stack your rocks dry, I mean no concrete, and then you backfill it. And you get a little bit of more of a natural look that way. This is my deck, worked on some steps. So having a surface like this outside makes the house twice as big, which is nice. This is a big addition to the house. It's a big door, I guess is about 1,000 pounds with everything. I welded it in place, and the hinge I actually built too. Acts like a kite, so you can't let go until it's actually locked. I have 3 pillars here. These support the deck. This one is my water pillar. This one's my fire pillar, where actually the chimney of the fire for the hot tub is. And then this is my cooking tower. So my cooking tower is my barbecue. This is actually a propane grill. Propane's underneath. The knobs are over here on the right. Got your hot plate, serving plate. Building out of rock, being inspired by other rocks. These are California crystals. I didn't find these myself, but they light up at night, which is a really pretty vibe for outdoor when you're in the hot tub. So I have 2 tubs. This one is a stainless steel old dairy tank I got and made it into a soaking hot tub. Has a fireplace pretty much just on the bottom of it. Got the cold plunge. When there's snow here, it's an amazing experience. So my water source, I have 2 now. This was the creek water, which water falls down into the cold plunge. So you have pure creek water here. And then I now have a well, so that's my backup option to fill it when the creek here does go dry for a couple months out of the summer. Once it's in the cold plunge, it goes down a little rock and goes into these flow forms. And then it can go into the hot tub or go down to the trees. Maybe one day I'll have a garden here. So this is my little garage, my little dungeon of like batteries, water pump. So this is the basement. This is the fireplace for heating the hot tub. Basic's fireplace I got off Craigslist. And right here I cut the top off to make it slide in there. The flame literally just hits the bottom of the tub. So this is my tiny house. I call it the Dream Chaser. I chase the snow with this for snowboarding. This is another project that I put all my ideas together. This is a 2015 Fuso 4-wheel drive diesel. My slide outs is the kitchen, which is a funny thing to try to make slide out because you got plumbing parts, you got drains, all that stuff moves as it goes out. It's my own custom design. When I built the slide out, I was halfway done and this part wasn't up yet. And at a certain time of the day, the sun was coming right down on the kitchen and I was like, wow, I gotta figure out how to let that sun in. So the whole Pexi skylight part was an afterthought. So that's all plastic. And so what I did with the curbside was I made a clamshell, turns into a deck, top part pops up as a roof. I got this set up right now. I Airbnb it up here. People are, never get the chance to really stay in a tiny home. It gives people a little taste of what this is like. Got a nice view, and then I got a bit of an outdoor kitchen here too. People want to cook more for parties. I got a couple Goal Zero solar panels that power everything. This is probably 200 watt panels. My batteries are just 2 6-volt batteries. Pretty small system. I have propane for a furnace heater for hot water, on-demand hot water. I do have a wood fireplace as well. So that is a good equation. You start the fire, dry your stuff out, and then the heater is on a thermostat. So when it drops a certain temp, the propane heater kicks on. So this is the inside of the tiny house. A lot of wood in this one. I milled most of the beetle kill, the countertops. Stove I got is just a camping stove, and I made it on a separate propane tank so I could actually take this outside. And this is my cutout to the front. There's a bathtub right there. Shower head comes off the same water as the sink. You can shower, turn it off, on and there. Really great setup. Pretty basic. So we're more down in the little valley of the property, which gives us more terrain up top. We're standing under my chairlift, which is an old chairlift from the 70s I got at a junkyard in parts. Kind of pieced it together the way I wanted. This is one of the funner terrains here. It's not huge, but there's no lift line, there's no crowds. It's an amazing place to be on a Saturday, especially on a holiday. So of course my kids now are looping it and having fun. I definitely didn't do this one by myself. This was a very cowboy style of tilting the towers up with winches up in the trees. I had a lot of rock climbing people come up and help. It took about 8 months to do it. So I started in the summer and I ended up weaving the cable myself. That was the hardest thing I learned. So I weaved 60 feet of metal cable to make a full loop. And this probably cost about 15 grand. I actually market this through my snowboarding, but also in Japan, I have a clothing company. I call this place Area 2 for 1 after my clothing. What's next? Keep building. I'm like, I love it. I think I'll do it till I die. I want to build something bigger for my family. And so now I have these spots where I'm building a septic system. I'm getting ready to build my masterpiece, you could say. Like, oh, this is what I want to do. This is probably the last thing I will do, you know, in a big way, and I hope I'm proud of it. But I want to really create a world here that feels safe, to value nature. It's going to be a big project. It probably might take 5-7 years as well, even though it's going to be much bigger than this. I think I'll be there for a long time.
Today's sponsor is Huusk. They've created an exceptional Japanese-inspired knife that I use in my tiny house, and I can't wait to show it to you. Huusk has created a great knife that has revolutionized my daily meal prep. Rather than having a few cheap knives that will rust and dull easily and won't be very convenient or effective in my tiny house, I've decided to get one professional quality knife that fits all of my needs. This Huusk knife doesn't dull, or rather it dulls so slowly that I never even notice, and it can be used to produce the thinnest of slices. Here are a few other things that I love about this knife. I love the attention to detail, and it's actually quite a conversation piece since I display it on my magnetic knife holder. Everyone who comes into my tiny house notices it and asks me about it. A lot of people think a life hack is to have a serrated knife to cut a tomato, but you don't need one as long as you have this knife. It is so sharp, so I could really downsize my knife collection. Currently, for all my viewers, Huusk is offering a 70% discount on all of their Japanese-inspired knives. And you can test the Huusk knife with a 30-day money-back guarantee. This deal won't last long, so make sure you check it out by clicking on the special link in my bio.